And welcome back, fellow air acolytes, to another edition of Breaking Wind, a Last Airbender podcast. I am Jason Roy Gaston, your host, and my friend over there, that is VHS Jase, and we are here to take on Civil Wars Part 2. It's the part after the first part, in case you're keeping track. So 100%. Let's just dive in, shall we? So Korra's mom and dad have been arrested, and that means Korra is home alone. I had to do that, sorry. But she talks to her uncle Unalaq, who I totally trust, by the way. And he says that he says they're going to go stand trial because, of course, they were associating with the rebels who tried to kidnap him. Meanwhile, the gang are hanging out in Varric's place, and Bolin loves it because he's gotten away from Eska, because Eska's getting a little bit too much up in his crawl. She's a little bit too clingy. Yeah. They are not broken up. No. He does not have the guts to break up with her. And she will not take no for an answer because she's Eska. As a matter of fact, boom! Eska and Deska come on in. Because they are looking for Varric. Because Varric is the financier of the rebels, and Unalaq wants him caught and put on trial. Now, after the twins leave, we find out that Varric had been there the whole time inside of this platypus bear. And not only is he in there, yes, Tony Stark is in there with Pepper Potts. Julie is in there. And it's not Julie. What is her name? Oh my gosh. Boy, anyway, her name.
I don't know, but she forgot the honey.
She did forget the honey, which is weird because they're in a bear. I buy the little plastic bears from the supermarket. They're full of honey.
What do they call that? Is that because that's a platypus? It's a platybear, is it?
It's a platypus bear, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably have those in Australia.
Our platypus are pretty big.
They put on a fedora and they go fight crime. But Varric tells them, you know what? You need to go pay off the judges. Here's some money. And the platypus bear poops out some money, which, first of all, the poop jokes in this episode are absolute next level. Like, this is a quantum leap in poop jokes. Normally, if you tell me, oh, yeah, this episode of this Avatar spinoff has poop jokes in it, I would just kind of bury my head in my hands and say, why? Why would they do this?
Yeah, but they do it. These are
but
prestige.
These are prestige, yes. These are the Criterion collection of poop jokes.
Echelon. Yeah, the higher echelon.
So Varric is basically like, okay, I'm going to hang out here. Here's some money. Go pay off the judges, and we can get all these people out of jail. And it seems like a pretty good plan, except Bolin's an idiot. Meanwhile, you remember Iki's missing, right?
Oh, the cute in this made me hurt.
I know. Oh my gosh, I want to be a part of this so much. I just wanted to. It's the cutest tea party ever.
Oh, one of them is always falling over.
Yeah, things. We really need to genetically engineer those things because I want 5. Iki is having a tea party with the little sky bison cubs, and well, she talks to her dad, and she says, "Oh, my brother and sister are the worst." And he's, instead of being upset or trying to talk her down, he's like, "Yeah, I know. Brothers and sisters are the worst." And they kind of
handles this so well as a father.
I know, which is
a beautiful scene.
Which is funny because we get this entire arc about learning that Aang was really not the best dad in the world, and Tenzin seems to be a really good dad. So
the whole way he approaches that, can they be my brothers and sisters too?
Yeah,
like
this is
when
great.
She introduced it, which I'm like, wow, like okay,
it's so wholesome. I just love this. But then we go to the trial, and it does not go well. It doesn't go well at all because
Judge Judy did not find in their favor.
No, he did not. She's, of course, being forced to testify against them, basically against her will, and Bolin tries to break up with Eska, and he says, there's a space between us, and she says, I agree, and only one thing can get rid of that space. We have to get married. Come with me, boy. I'm going to dominate you. Eska, hungry.
So much.
She terrifies me. She absolutely terrifies me. I know what you're thinking. Is that the cursed screenshot of the episode?
Oh.
It is not. We have that coming.
I'm telling you right now, if it is not the one, because I don't know what it is yet, but I'd be willing to put a lot of money. I think I know.
You know what it is. You know what it is. So anyway, we're going to go to people who have a fate that's not quite as bad as Bolin's. Korra's dad and the rebels are sentenced to death. However, Unalaq, who I totally trust, by the way, comes out and pleads with the judge, hey, you know, can we not kill these people? You know, can we just give them life in prison instead? And the judge is like, yeah, sure, why not? We get some more fun bonding with Ikki and Tenzin, where Ikki kind of helps Tenzin realize that, you know, brothers and sisters, yeah, they fight, they get on each other's nerves, but they're not that bad. Which, again, wholesome, seeing daddy and daughter kind of help each other through a existential familial crisis. I really like. Korra goes home, finds her mother crying because she has been set free, but her husband hasn't. And Korra decides, you know what, it's time for a measured response. So she runs the judge off the road and threatens to feed him to her dog. Which, first of all, first of all, Naga is such a well-trained dog, because at any point, if Naga had misheard Korra's, you know, words, you know, it's like, tell me, talk, or I swear it'll come back to bite you, Crunch.
Or sneezes.
Naga, run.
Crunch.
We were never here.
Would I expect? See, this is the thing about Korra that is sometimes jarring, is that sometimes you're not used to the way she responds.
No, she's like, the anti-Aang.
Very aggressive response.
Yeah,
and I'm not against it. I'm just saying normally they wouldn't approach like that, but she wasn't effing about. Put it that way.
They would have done this with Aang, and it would have been a comedic scene where he was trying to intimidate somebody, and then Katara would have walked up and really intimidated them. But with Korra, it's just basically, I will freaking kill you if you don't do what I want. And I believe it, because Korra's hardcore. She's not the pacifist Aang was.
Moment that she would have done something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I believe it too. And most importantly, the judge believes it too, because it turns out the judge is on Unalaq's payroll. And not only... Not
wheeled.
Not what I would have too if I was in a dog's mouth. I've seen my dogs eat bacon, and I just have a Chihuahua. Not only was the judge on Unalaq's payroll, not only has this all been set up by Unalaq, Unalaq was responsible for Tonraq getting exiled from the Northern Water Tribe in the first place. He's been pulling the strings for years to steal power from his brother. I can't believe it. I trusted him. I trusted him, and he did this to me.
Yeah.
We get a lovely scene here. I love this because Boomy is kind of a joke in the show, and he's kind of treated like a joke most of the time. But I really love how he stands in front of that statue of Aang and says, I'm sorry I wasn't a bender like you wanted me to be, because you know this guy has got to have some inferiority complexes.
Yeah.
And, you know, Kaya comes in and says, you were never a disappointment to Dad. And then they hug, and I just love that. It's such a human scene. And you always know when I need a hug.
It's really surprising to me. By the way, I've got an itchy nose. I'm not Premier Macron or anything, or Zelensky. Sorry, have you not seen the news? Sorry, another thing. No, I just got an itchy mustache. That's all.
They get a little itchy sometimes, especially if you got lice.
Yeah. Yeah. Look,
I'm just saying
that they've gone, and this is the main B plot, really. In this series, is to really deal with what's going on in that family. I'm really surprised that they put a lot of emphasis on it, but I'm starting to think it's probably a necessary thing to do as we go further in this series, is to go, They're a dysfunctional family. We're going to deal with some of those issues, heal some things, maybe open cracks and other things. I'm just surprised that's the B plot. That's all.
It is a much more mature series than Airbender, and usually whenever you hear the words mature, it means more death, more blood, more violence. Here it is actual maturity. It is we're going to talk about how Aang was actually not the angel everybody thought he was. We're gonna talk about how a legacy can actually harm your self-worth.
Yeah.
I think those are fantastic choices for this show.
Yeah, it's just so. I wonder if the people who have an issue with Korra, maybe that's a big core of it. It's not actually about her. It's what they've done to some of the legacy characters in their own mind. Like, you take a hero and you make him, kind of a deadbeat dad. It's a really bold thing to do,
Yeah. At the same time, though, I understand why Aang was the way he was. I'm not saying it's right, but I get it because he does have that burden of being the last Airbender, and Tenzin is his only hope of continuing an entire nation. And so he would put a lot of his effort into Tenzin.
That's right. And I think it's also fair to say that how old was he when he saved the world? And then immediately after that, Jason, he had to take a role of responsibility on.
Yep.
And all that came with that, I certainly think would have, and we may see in the film when they release it next year, but certainly, come into play. In fact, that's my prediction right now. The Aang, the movie that we're getting next year, I think we're going to discover what happened, why he became who he became.
Maybe so. We will see. We will see. Korra, on the other hand, we don't need to know who she became. She's pissed off right now because, again, I love the animation, how they communicate so much with so little. But she is determined. She's looking straight ahead. She knows exactly what she's going to do. She's going to break Daddy out of jail.
Yeah.
And,
my.
And here's Mo from the Three Stooges for some reason. Bolin is about to become a kept boy. And he's just like, I will help you because prison is preferable to being engaged to Eska. So Korra goes to the jail to break her daddy out, and there's Unalaq saying, "No, your daddy's not here. You're never going to get him again." Korra spills the beans. She knows everything. Unalaq's like, "Yeah, so what? I don't need you no more. I can open up the spirit thing by myself. Yeah, I don't need that." And I love it whenever you think the hero's got all the cards, and then he's like, "No, you don't. I'm just cool." Unalaq's he is kind of a out of all of the villains that we encounter in the Legend of Korra, he's often seen as the weakest one. But he definitely has some high points. And I think one of his high points is the fact that he is so calm and he is so sure of himself. And I think that is why a lot of people don't really remember him as much as say, Amon or the villains that are coming, because he doesn't really get big and bombastic. He's like the Hannibal Lecter of Korra.
I think it's significant that the villains so far have been like just rebellious pockets in the land, right? Yeah. Something's stirring up on the bigger picture scale here, that these guys keep popping up.
And that is something that keeps going, is that the two villains of the season 3 and season 4 also rebels, rebelling against something. And quite frankly, sometimes they're not wrong. Unalaq, he's just a dick. That's it.
Well, what's to say that what Aang did and everything did actually set the land onto this pathway?
Who knows? I mean, he was instrumental in founding Republic City, so who knows? Anyway, Bending War. They do this. Yeah, they do this thing where they kind of blur between frames now to make things look more fluid, and so the screen caps are kind of limited from the Bending Wars. This was like the only one that wasn't blurred or double exposed. Yeah. I think it looks really good in motion, but one frame at a time, not quite so much.
Not helpful to us, guys. Not helpful to us.
So Team Avatar has a problem. They got to get Varric out of his apartment and onto his ship so that they can get out of the Southern Water Tribe. And to do that, they have to walk the platypus bear costume through the city. And long story short, it's another poop joke. The platypus bear poops money, which is hilarious. I'm sorry. That's funny. That's funny. Julie. No, it's not Julie. Is it Julie? I cannot remember what her name is. Is it Julie? Okay. I should remember this. Julie, do the thing. Yeah. Do the thing becomes Varric's catchphrase, by the way. Do the thing. So they get on board Varric's ship, and Varric has a plane that Korra needs to rescue her dad. Except there's no runway. So Korra and Mako become basically booster rockets, and Asami flies it, and they fly out to take on the Northern Water Tribe fleet. Korra absolutely bringing it right here. I think she's awesome.
Full Avatar mode. She's amazing.
Oh yeah, and she just makes like this big water boulder that just kicks everyone out of the way. She saves her dad. Her dad's like, "You shouldn't have done this. This is going to start a war." She's like, "War is upon us, whether we like it or not." Actually, I think I think that's a Lord of the Rings quote, but it totally works here.
Well, it's appropriate.
It is. Tenzin and Ikki come home. Ikki's brother and sister and Ikki all make up instantly, and they all go play airball together. And we get this lovely moment where Kaya has this old picture of their family. Look at Aang.
Yeah.
Aww, just love that.
Yeah, that is a lovely family photo.
They decide, you know what?
Deadbeat dad.
Deadbeat dad. I can't wait to neglect you older two. Yeah. Deadbeat Aang.
Dead.
There are people watching this podcast right now screaming at their monitors.
Oh, no, it's so offended.
You don't know. Yeah, he is. It's canon now.
Canon.
It's not canon because I don't want it to be. Tonraq tells Korra, we are going to go and be the Southern Water Tribe resistance. We can keep the North occupied for a while. We can't beat them, but we can keep them occupied. What you need to do is get to Republic City and get the government on our side. And so Korra gets on a boat, and we're going back to Republic City. However, something is following them. And much to Bolin's horror, there's our cursed screenshot of the week. That is, she's Eska, and we're finally seeing an emotion.
Yeah, she's rather emotional. And it's one emotion you don't want.
She is not happy at all. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Or is that Deska? I don't know. Maybe Deska's the one who's mad.
I don't know.
One or the other. Who knows?
I ain't away from him.
But all I can say is, Bolin, run. And that was Civil Wars Part 2.
Setting up for a fairly obvious scenario, I think, which is the government won't help them.
Oh, okay.
Right and wrong. Well, that's generally, if I was put my money on it, I would say they're going to try to get the city on the side, and they're going to say no, and then something happened, then they will come on side. I hope I'm wrong. Please be wrong, Jason.
Well, we will see. We will see. I mean, it would certainly, complicate the story if they said no, and that's fine. Let's complicate the story a little bit. The next episode...
Yeah, that's what... Yeah, go on. What is the next episode? I was going to ask.
The next episode is called Peacekeepers. So we will see. We will see exactly how that fits into everything, because if the Peacekeepers are keeping the peace right now, they're doing a horrible job.
Yeah. Look, I'm still waiting for the really bad episode, and let's hope it's not next week either. Because...
in season 2, because we've had a bad episode. We had the season 1 love triangle.
Yeah, let me clarify that. Season 2. I'm waiting for the season 2 dip, and haven't got it yet.
I will say, though, this is still a less toxic love affair than Mako and Korra. It's still less toxic.
It's more honest.
It is more honest. I mean, Eska does tell Bolin exactly what he wants. If anybody's not honest in this relationship, it's Bolin. Bolin needs to stand up for himself and quit being such a... Well, never mind. Actually, you know what? Do whatever she says.
Oh, but Bolin should just be Bolin. I don't want him.
Yeah, he's such a sweet little baby angel. Just let him be Bolin. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, Bolin would support us on Patreon. So if you want to be like Bolin, that sweet little baby angel, go down to the video description below and click the link for Patreon. You can support us for as little as $5 a month or more, or you can become a YouTube channel member, and you can be just like the platypus bear that farts money. And that's you on Patreon. So come fart money in our faces. We would like it because we're little freaks.
I don't know about living inside a dead platypus bear. The smell. No,
Well,
he's
I'm
probably
pretty sure
decked it out. He's like Tony Stark, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's probably like a 3-bedroom apartment once you actually go inside the thing.
Like a Doctor Who thing where it's bigger on the inside than the outside. It's got like a study and a library and everything. I'm sure it probably is, but maybe we'll find out in the next episode, or maybe we won't. Who knows? Maybe this was a one episode joke, which I'm pretty sure it was.
So anyway, get your hopes up about something that would probably never happen.
That is correct. But what will happen is we will be here next week on Breaking Wind and Avatar: The Last Airbender podcast.